Okay, well, we sort of got it. It sort of worked there. We got a lot of freaks today. There's just a lot that's happened this weekend. And, I mean, I don't know. All right, 1, 2... 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I need to get the right one here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, there we go. Oh, we got some more. Let's start with our new favorite account. This is a friend of the pod, Q the Storm. Warning, if you haven't done so already, break the screen to your cell phone now. Break the screen to your cell phone now. Thank you, Q the Storm. Hey, by the way, I remember last time we did Twitter Freaks, it turned out that the government was shutting down like a couple of hours afterwards. Did that end up happening? Does anyone remember? Did that end up happening, or it did? It did end up happening? Oh. Well, fantastic news. Yeah. Well, now that there's no more government, what do y'all want to do? I was thinking we could fuck around. Gay sex? I mean, sounds good to me, right? Huh. Okay. Next up. Okay. This one's, it's a lot of Trump this time, but it's a lot of Trump because he's been everywhere this weekend, man. Okay, first up, Hitler getting rejected from art school moment. The Broadway producer, David Black, was sitting in his office above the Palace Theater when a young Donald J. Trump walked in, unannounced, and asked him to lunch. Mr. Trump was just 23 years old, fresh out of Wharton, with some money from his developer father and an interest in what it might look like to be a Broadway producer. He took Mr. Black to the private Metropolitan Club, peppered him with questions about the ins and the outs of the business, and made an offer. He'd pay half the cost of putting up the next play if the producer would give him equal billing on the posters and in playbill. When Paris is Out, a domestic comedy featuring Molly Picon, a well-known star of the Yiddish theater, began performances in early 1970, Mr. Trump's name was above the title with that of Mr. Black. The show was a flop, and its closing brought an abrupt end to Mr. Trump's career as a Broadway producer. Mr. Black, the producer of Paris is Out, is now 84 and muses about how things might have worked out differently. He did have a flair for show business. He liked putting his name on something that wasn't real estate. And if the play had been a hit, who knows, he might have continued. Mr. Black recalls the day he had to inform Mr. Trump that Paris is Out would close. The two men went to a coffee shop just off 8th Avenue where Mr. Black broke the news. When I told him I had to close it, he said, "David, what should I do now?" Mr. Black recalled, "I said, why don't you try real estate?" That's insane, dude. That's unbelievable. Fuck. Oh my God. It makes sense. The guy is, there's nothing wrong with being homosexual, but he's gay. Trump's like an old New York gay. And so it makes sense. Oh man. End of the movie. It's like Nick Fury comes in the next scene. I'm putting together a team. Oh, sheesh. All right, next up. Okay, so this one was sent to me, and it really gave me a tickle. Last night, I lost in the Vegas Vintage Cube qualifier to Alex Bertoncini, who is banned from Magic for life. So this one is not going to make sense to some of you who don't have encyclopedic lore of old Magic cheaters like I do, but Alex Bertoncini is probably the most famous and prolific Magic cheater of all time. He got unbanned while I was playing Magic and then immediately got banned again for cheating, like almost like within a week. But he's also really fucking good at Magic. He's like one of the greatest Magic players of all time, even without the cheating, right? And so he made it in a Vintage Cube qualifier, I believe on Moto, to finals. the finals of which qualifies you for a paper event that realistically he probably would not have been able to play. So this guy writes this thing where he's like, why is this guy who's not even able to enter this vintage cube able to qualify through Moto? Like, what the fuck is going on here? The person goes, why is this an issue? He can't cheat on Moto. And I do love this. This is just so cool. In general, humans don't respond linearly to ever harsher punishments. The death sentence doesn't disincentivize crime significantly more than a 20-year prison sentence. We are talking about banning someone from Magic the Gathering. I love Magic players. They're like, I've got an analogy for this. Capital punishment is like getting your IP banned from Moto. It's so good. Oh, man. This specific tweet was said to me. I really appreciated it. Next up. Beyonce looks radically optimistic in new photo. She's just so boring to me. Okay, I'm going to scroll to the reply, and we're going to have to read this one together, okay? I just know she was yelling at Jay like, you betta not finna get my hair wet, child. I got my weave on. Yeah. I know she was yelling at him like that. Oh, boy. Next up. Folks, he's so back. Now, it's been a rough couple of weeks for friend of the channel, Donald Trump. He's been absolutely down in all the polls, but things are picking up. He's once again regaining steam, and it's because of his impressive rallies like this one here. I was so scared we were never going to get to hear about Hannibal Lecter again. I was so scared we were never going to get to hear about Hannibal Lecter again. So I've been wondering for a long time, I'm like, why is he bringing up Hannibal Lecter? And Jillian and I had alternative theories. Jillian said it's because he's trying to be like the people coming into the country are as bad as Hannibal Lecter. And I was like, I think it's because he hears asylum and he thinks like insane asylum like Hannibal Lecter. And it turns out we were both right. Let's listen to this.
And then the press, when I say Dr. Hannibal Lecter, the press says, oh, why did he mention that?
Good question.
They're wise guys back there, just wise guys. They say he rambled and started talking about Hannibal Lecter. What does that have to do? That's a representative of people that are coming into our country.
I knew Hannibal Lecter was coming into our fucking country. I knew it. And please say it. Please, can you just say it for me one time? Please. Please just say it.
Dr. Hannibal Lecter, he will have you for dinner.
Yeah!
He will have you for dinner.
He will have you, sir. You for dinner. He will have you. And the late, great Hannibal Lecter, he wants to have you for dinner. Oh, he's so good, dude. We're so fucking back. We're so back. We're so back. Okay, here's another banger from the rally.
Can you imagine you're a parent and your son leaves the house and you say, Jimmy, I love you so much. Go have a good day in school. And your son comes back with a brutal operation.
Okay, this one's crazy to me. Obviously, like 80% of the Republican Party platform at this point is just like making stuff up and then being like, why isn't anyone doing anything about this, you know? But this one is like, what are they trying? Are they saying kids will go to school and at school? At school, they'll do the sex change operation. Like day of, they walk in and they're like, that guy's a little fruity. Cut his dick off, and he goes to the nurse, and they do it. Like, what do you think? How do you think this works? But there's like, at the point where you believe that, do you ever take a step back and go like, wait, I've become like the stupidest guy ever? It's literally you have to step back and be like, am I being tricked? Is this a fucking trick? Oh my god, it's so good. Oh, you go to the school and you say, Jimmy, I love you so much. Jimmy, I love you so much. And then they come back and they're a woman. It's so good. He's the best. He's so good. This does happen. It happens every day. Oh my god! I think you just get shot instead. Well, that's just a fact of life, baby. Oh, holy shit! Next up. Okay, so things aren't going great for the GOP, but let me be completely clear. There's other political parties things aren't going great for either, and I'm talking specifically here about third-party candidates. We all know in America that you only get to pick one of two parties. The party that wants to grind every Palestinian into a paste, and the party that wants to talk about how Hannibal Lecter is going to come in through the Mexican border and also wants to grind Palestinians into a paste. So our third parties, you would think they would get a lot of positive press. Instead, they're fighting for their life. Jill Stein is for the I think 12th presidential election in a row, the candidate for the Green Party. Which, if you're a European, you hear the Greens, you're like, oh yeah, the Greens are like a well-meaning but ultimately like less impactful party in our state. In America, the Greens are like the Smurfs in terms of political acumen. And Jill Stein is running for the millionth time. But the fact that she can't seem to win shit ever is actually not her fault, because frequently things like this will happen where like the Nevada State Supreme Court kicked the Green Party off the ballot, so you can't even vote for them. They got all these signatures and they were still kicked off the ballot, probably by the Democrats, I imagine, because they are responsible for that kind of thing. However, the problem with like typing this is that someone can just look up if you're lying or not. And it turns out the Green Party accidentally filed the forms to put the words Jill Stein up as a public referendum question instead of as a candidate for president. So if you are voting in Nevada, I don't know if it'll happen. I imagine it'll be cured by the time that, the actual election comes around. But at present, the ballot will have president, vice president, it'll have all the senators, all the Congress people on it. And then at the very bottom, it'll say referendum question number 1. Jill Stein? Yes, no. So, Chad, are we voting yes, no on Jill Stein? I mean, I think it's a good question. What happens if they vote no? Do they kill her? Can you do that in Nevada? It's so good, dude. It's like if you really need evidence that this country ain't working, here's one right here. All right, next up. Okay. Obviously things aren't going great for any of our presidential candidates at present, but I've just received word that our vice presidential candidate, JD Vance, is in dire straits. This comes from TMZ. JD Vance beats heat in SD swimming pool. Wears shirt into water. Dog. Dude. Not even in the ocean, in the shirt, in the pool. Come on, dude. Oh, man. What do you think it is? What do you think it is? Do you think it's man boobs, or do you think it's like he has tattoos that he doesn't want people to see? Third nipple. It could be the Ozempic. He's got like a lot of loose skin. Oh man. Top surgery. Come on. No, Chad, I don't think it's that. Maybe he went to public school and he came back and said, our good friend Jimmy Dean Vance. And he comes back. He has a brutal operation. They transed his gender. They took out 2/3 of his brain through his nose. Oh man, that's rough. That's so rough, man. I don't know. You all know the fat guy truth of this world is it's better to not wear a shirt in the pool than to wear a shirt. There is no amount of disgusting your body can be that validates having a shirt on in the pool. You just got to own it. A shirt's not going to help. Next up. How it feels to be a gay guy who doesn't party or do drugs and would rather play board games and talk about ideas. 1, nerd. 2, talk about ideas. I'm just trying to get together and talk about ideas, man. I gotta talk about ideas. That's what you stream. Well, there's no ideas happening here. There's no ideas happening here. Plus, I love partying. I would never do drugs. Next up. Okay, speaking of drugs, let's talk about galaxy gas. You guys familiar with galaxy gas? So, back when I actually have a concrete memory of galaxy gas. Back when Twitter first came into Elon Musk's control, I was shocked one day to find that Whippets were being advertised to me. You guys remember when Kanye West was like, "Can I do the nitrous?" Anyone can get high using nitrous oxide, which you can get either from Whippets or charge canisters for industrial whipped cream, right? Well, this company Galaxy Gas, you know what? I'm even gonna just look up the company real quick. You can just go online and purchase this shit. It's like flavored nitrous oxide. And you know, they are everywhere. They're like, and this is only for whipped cream. But it sure seems weird that it's flavored, right? Like the whole site is covered in like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. But like, people are gonna do it, dumbass. Come on. Well, it turns out, unlike most things advertised on Twitter, it wasn't a dropship scam, and you can get them. And is taken off.
Sleep, 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 sleep.
Chad, don't do this. Do not do this. What the fuck? Do not do this. There's got to be a law against this shit. Well, if Kanye was president, there would be a law for this shit. I mean, not to be straight edge or whatever. But if you are going to do drugs, this is also one of the worst you can do. It's just like brain damage speed run for like the middest high you could ever imagine. It's, oh no.
Yo, he died.
Well, I hope he didn't actually die. Just do crack instead. Exactly. Oh, man. Next up. Okay, this one is insane, dude. Let's watch this TikTok together. You are. Okay, we probably can't listen to the music because I'm sure it's DMCA. A couple of hours before my long flight, oh, fucking hell, to Thailand, my 1-year-old son's temperature rose to almost 40. That's 104. My husband and I wanted to cancel the flight, and our tickets would have been wasted, and the trip that cost us $3,000 would have been wasted. We managed to bring down the temperature, and we were so worried about how the baby would feel on an 8-hour flight. I mean, terrible, right? One plus of the flight was that the flight was at night and the child could sleep and recover. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. The child's going to recover sleeping on a plane. But the flight turned out to be difficult. The baby kept waking up and crying. Yeah, gee, I fucking wonder why. We had to bring down the temperature again in the middle of the night. We were very worried. My husband and I were squeezed like a lemon. We took turns looking after the baby so that each of us could sleep. When we landed, we thought that everything was over and we could rest, but the worst had just begun. Do you know how easy it must be to be a member of Child Protective Services right now? People will just post a video of them just violating the law. That's crazy, right? That's Okay, so for those of you who are like, how does it get worse? What happens is the entire family ends up getting sick when they get to Thailand. They're in a foreign nation with 3 dying members of the family. And I think some people in the comments got it right. The kid clearly has norovirus, and like now it's spread to them. Probably spread to a bunch of people on the fucking plane too. It's a closed air system, you stupid fuck. It's crazy, man. It's unbelievable. Why would you post this? Like, why do you have to make a story time out of it? Oh, this is evil. If your child is at 104, directly to the emergency room. I'm going to be the most hypochondriac, neurotic ass parent of all time. I will be taking my kid there if they have a 101. 104. That's like 1 degree off of where they have to put the kid in a fucking vat of ice to bring down the temperature. That's insane, dude. Next up. What? Listen, I'm pro Spirit Halloween. As you can see, any place that where Nick Let's Go is making money is a yes to me. And you can see they have little fall guys in the corner there. But what is this? It's just a jumpsuit. How is this Hawk Tua? How is this Hawk Tua? What's the flag? I imagine it says Hawk Tua. I don't understand. A real Hawk Tua costume would be someone sucking your penis, right? I don't get it. Personally, I don't get it. Also, is this guy performing the Hawk Tua or having the Hawk Tua performed on him? Because if he's performing the Hawk Tua, you know, it would fail the woke video game test, right? Next up. Okay. We got to talk about this weekend. We got to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh, right? So this last weekend was Worlds. It was Worlds, and Worlds was so tight. Let's begin by talking about this. All the people who went to Worlds, Farfa, Doug, Rhymestyle, you know, the people who have completely compromised their integrity and are now Konami's bitches forever, posted these things about the Duel Links solid vision system. Of course, just in case you're watching this, Konami, I will compromise my beliefs and become Konami's bitch forever if you work with me.
You already
but
know
we
the
got
best
this.
part is coming up right now. Ooh, look at it.
This is cool because it's just the Wayne Radio TV bit where he plays Yu-Gi-Oh! VR.
All right, when I watch this, you saw this from the other spectator view, but look, now we got.
Okay, am I crazy? There's just a DMG upskirt here, right? Right? Like, how would... You had to know that was what people were going to do. You summoned DMG way up there, right?
Now we got.
Come on, she stands up there for her attack animation. Right? Am I crazy? Right? Anyway, we we end up watching Worlds, and Worlds was very interesting. I liked it a lot. For me, it shot the gap on like Fiendsmith Snake Eye being good, but not so clearly the best deck that you couldn't play anything else. In fact, Fiendsmith Yubel I think was the more winning deck, and it was cool to see that interplay. I was kind of weirded out by commentary just not talking about time rules. I don't know why they won't do it. Probably they're not allowed to, but like I don't know why we're pretending time rules is this evil thing. Like, why do we conceptualize time as like a thing that should not under any circumstances happen instead of an inevitability in any game where someone is playing purple cards? Like, what the fuck? Like, why don't we talk about the macro, you know, when you should be scooping, like how fast you should be playing, you know, if you're making too many decisions. I don't know. I don't understand. Maybe it's because chat is so annoying about it. Well, I think chat's annoyance with time rules comes from them misconceptualizing what time rules are, which is a part of the game, not an apology to the fact that the game takes forever. But I don't know. It is what it is. While on the subject of commentary, shouts out to the boy Doug. He did a wonderful job. He really brought it home. I will say I didn't really. Okay, commentary in general. Isala, insane. Isala was out of his fucking mind this weekend. Really appreciated him. Jerome, I would give him a medal for most improved. Jerome's commentary was actually quite strong. I was really impressed. Doug did really good. And Doug had good riffs with Chilled Chaos, but it was strange. I really think that commentary desk should have just been 2 people. I don't know who I would have removed from it, but it was like Doug was trying to riff with Chilled Chaos, and it kept getting interrupted. And then Chilled Chaos it wasn't like all the way there in terms of commentary, but like his presence was like very visible. And the third guy's presence was really visible. I don't know. Because I like the third guy too. But the Master Duel commentary was not bad. Kangas. I am so happy they're just hiring people who are commentators for a living now, who do pro player interviews for a living. Holy fuck. This guy, Jesus Christ. It's a little bit of a step up from last Worlds when they had like Cyber Knight being like, all right, and let me just read off this sheet. How was the game? You know, just letting him kind of freestyle a little bit. Felt a lot more natural, a lot better. Man. Kangas is so fucking good, man. No idea why the LCS doesn't have him casting Premier games yet. Well, it's because the talent at the Premier level for the LCS is so high. You know, it's like they are using people who have been with the production team for a decade. I imagine he will eventually be a part of casting LCS. He's doing what, Challenger Cups now? He's doing great. Let me go get my food real quick. Okay. Ugh. No, he's doing really good. The one thing I felt bad for Doug for is all 3 casters missed lethal in the finals of Master Duel. And when they caught on, Doug was like, "Is it lethal?" And I was like, "Oh, they should have known just a little earlier that the game was over." How did they miss lethal? They just weren't super familiar with the Pearly happiness line, I think. And to their credit, who fucking plays Pearly? Me, true. It was just the usual happiness OTK, yeah. Doug like half knew, the others had no clue. Yeah, once Doug pieced it together, he was like, "Oh wait, is this lethal?" And they were like, "What do you mean? It attacked already." And I was like, "No, don't say shit like that. It's Worlds." A couple of other things happened this weekend. So Duel Links. How about that Duel Links, huh? So my understanding is that it took a little time for Duel Links to fire because there was a DDoS. Someone hacked Duel Links Worlds. Some people are saying online that it was a hacker who wanted $35, but I hope they got it. It seems like they could have done more. Allegedly. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know too much about it, but they did eventually get it done. And then I guess the $35 is a meme. Oh shit. Is that Quantum Cubes? This motherfucker won Rush Duel Worlds, by the way. And I did want to say it always feels so bad that people kind of expect Duel Links takes a back seat to Master Duel and TCG, or Master Duel and Paper. But like, man, the Rush Duel and even the Duel Links portion, I was like, this is fucking nice. Like, I do like it. I've come around on the Duel Links like build thing. If you're unfamiliar with the Duel Links Worlds format, it's not just like deck versus deck. It's like you have to use like certain characters and their associated skills. So like you have a couple of weird bad decks in your lineup. It's kind of cool. But no, Quantum Cubes ended up winning the Rush section. They're the guy who won the Duel Links section, like the speed duel portion, I think is from Bolivia. And then we have Master Duel. So Master Duel was unbelievable because Master Duel is the finals was a repeat of the finals from last year. Team 7, that's Jesse, Raymond Dye, Ryan Yu versus Josh, Quantal, Emre, right? It was unfucking believable. I was pogging out of my mind. And Ryan Yu's team dumpstered them. It was not remotely close. It was like, oh my God, dude, what the fuck? It was crazy. It was unthinkably strong. Which means that North and South Americans won every single title this weekend. But I guess one of the big stories from the weekend in terms of Master Duel Worlds was like round 3, everyone's deck got leaked. So I think I can talk about this. They are leaks, but a third-party piece of infrastructure, who I'm partnered with, by the way. If you go to the affiliate link section of any of my videos, you can download the Untapped Deck Tracker for free. The Untapped Deck Tracker has a weird quirk about it where through an unintended use of the tool, you can get a card-for-card list of any individual you generate a replay from, right? So Master Duel Meta was able to just get everybody's list immediately, and they posted them on their fucking website. And so let me see if I can find this. So Judeo Yu-Gi-Oh, who, by the way, MCS champion Judeo Yu-Gi-Oh, and for that reason we stan, is like, hey, dude, this is like fucked up. You shouldn't have done this. Master Duel Worlds is, there's a weird quirk about the Master Duel format, which is you can't share cards in between decks. With a couple of exceptions, you designate as shared cards. So individual texts are going to be weird and will matter. So this is, I guess, the pot moment.
Worst. You don't care about the competitive environments.
He's reading it out loud
here. You
here.
don't care about how your actions affects the players at Worlds. You just want to grab as much money as possible. That's an absolute L. You should have just waited to post them at least after day 1, but you don't care at all, do you? So Judeo Yu-Gi-Oh, very likely one of those players I described to you all.
What do you mean, those players? What do you mean, those players? No.
As I have 2 times experience at Worlds where players at home, if you're friends with them, they will watch all the replays. They will gather the deck list themselves. They'll create a spreadsheet with you. They'll message you in Discord, everyone's secret texts, what they're playing, what they're not playing. So Judeo Yu-Gi-Oh, possibly likely with that strategy, is upset that his friends at home watching Worlds now can't secretly give Judeo Yu-Gi-Oh the secret text where no one else will have that.
Okay, so this is one amazing. He's repurposing arguments pro disclosure from like fucking high school debate. Where people do go around, they try and get spreadsheets together about like who's on what and stuff like that. But this argument's also really weird because there's a difference between someone going to a replay, right, and telling you here are the cards that were played in the replay, and someone going, here's the exact 40 cards someone is playing using a piece of third-party infrastructure that works in such a way that it generates a deck list that you otherwise wouldn't have access to, right? I don't know. I don't know.
So that advantage that Judeo Yu-Gi-Oh! Had has now been taken away by MasterDuelMeta.com.
Thank you so much, Batman. Thank you so much, George Orwin 1937, for returning the power to the players on MasterDuelMeta.com.
So Judeo, I'm very sorry that you're now on an even playing field. You now, in between matches, can't be fed secret information on your opponent's decks as you have someone at home or multiple people at home. Who knows? Maybe you have 10, 20 people gathering all the information.
This is my favorite thing people do. They're like Judeo Yu-Gi-Oh! I've decided is cheating. And you know what? Actually, why even say that he had one guy? He had 100 guys. He had 2,000 guys. Hannibal Lecter's coming in through the border.
To feed it to you. So no extra advantage for you. Good luck at Worlds, though. Thank you.
Oh, man. Very true. All I have to say is, listen. I think a lot of people used this as an opportunity to shit on Decade. I really do not have any strong Decade opinions. I don't interact with the guy very much. I've tried to in the past. I've sent him stuff. He's never replied, probably because he's intimidated by how attractive I am. I would say this sucks ass. I would say the argument for it sucks balls. I think the thing he did was bad, and I don't think it's particularly arguable. Over the last couple of days, r/MasterDuelMeta, the Master Duel meme Reddit that is, I guess, fucking run by Decade and the MDM team, has been tearing him a new one. So it is. I imagine, backfired as much as something could for him. I at the end of the day, I don't know how much he cares, but I think it sucks. Any consequences, do you think? Yeah, I've seen a lot of people being like, they should ban this guy. You understand he's just banned, right? He'll never play Yu-Gi-Oh! Again in any official capacity. Like, he's made peace with that fact. He's decided that what he wants to do is something else. But in case you were unable to grasp the fact that this sucks ass, the people responsible for the third-party piece of infrastructure put out a fucking statement. Can you believe that? Untapped.gg, the individuals who made the Hearthstone deck tracker and the Master Duel deck tracker, which I do like. I think it's like a cool tool, especially if you're picking up a deck you don't have a lot of experience with and you want like a mechanism by which to get better. I don't recommend its use in any sort of official tournament or even unofficial ones, because I think for tournament purposes it is kind of, it's a little note-takey. But here's their statement. He says, we've been making data tools for CCGs for 8 years, starting with Hearthstone, MTG Arena, Snap, and now Master Duel. Millions of players and influencers use and love our products across these games. We build our tools for players to track their own personal performance, celebrate successes, and identify where to improve. It's also a really invaluable, not to jerk them off, it's an invaluable source of data to have people jamming specific builds with auto-reported win rates, right? If a significant amount of people use it, you can start making conclusions about like card slots, which is really valuable for Hearthstone specifically, where use of this tool is pretty common. Anyway, they're intended to help players discover new fun decks, make it easier for them to learn how to pilot them, and be able to see the deck lists they are currently playing. This weekend, it came to our attention people were able to use the Untapped.gg companion to view deck lists in a way that we did not intend. This goes against our philosophy and purpose for the tool, and we hotfixed the issue immediately. Our policy is that whenever we detect a game or our client is leaking information that should not be visible to the player, we fix it and we notify the dev if possible. We regret negative impact this defect may have had on the players at Worlds. We are reviewing our processes to proactively identify and address these issues in the future. Our goal is to provide tools and stats to help new and long-term Yu-Gi-Oh players have a better, more enjoyable time playing. We hope our products will continue to bring joy to players and support them to realize their full potential at Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Well, it is what it is. What a fucking shit show. The ultimate outcome of Worlds, however, was an absolute domination from America, North and South, led by this individual, Ruben Peñaranda. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I helped. I donated this man a match at the Philadelphia Regional earlier this year. And when I say donated, I don't mean I conceded to him. I mean, I played like ass and he beat me.
Well, Ruben,
and then
I've been
got
waiting
into
a
the
long
points
time
playoff
to
and won the
show
points
this
playoff.
off on stream.
Now watch
Can you
this
show
shit.
us a jump rope trick?
First off, Kangas, what is this fucking fit? We got to get dye workwear on this. What is going on here? We got to get dye workwear on this. But let's see what this guy can accomplish.
To prove that you are able to compete internationally representing your country, not only in Yu-Gi-Oh, but also in jump rope. All right, let's see what you got.
Okay, you know, that's cool. That's all right. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Whoa!
Yo, what the fuck? Yo, what the fuck? Whoa, what the fuck?
All right, I believe you.
You went
Ruben.
crazy. What the
Thank you so
fuck?
much.
That's so fucking tight. Oh my god, good shit. You Bell players playing through interruption. True. We had like actual factual cool people who play real sports show up and talk about how they play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. This was like a super funny ad, by the way. It was Jamal Williams and then some other guy. God, I can't fucking remember it now. George Kittle, yeah. And he was like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is about loving your friends. It's about pushing yourself. It's about good triumphing over evil. Jamal Williams was like, yeah, I like to play Snake Eyes. So the other day, I was playing against Dynamorphia, and he explains, like, getting his ass beat at, like, 32 life points. And he's like, he had 32, and I couldn't do 32 to him. It was so funny. He was like, yeah, I got into the deck with Snake Eyes. He was like, my favorite deck is Pearly. He was talking about, he's like, I like control decks. I like to watch my opponents squirm. I like to negate things. I'm big into negating. He's like, I'm like, negate. And I was like, just say Hasto, man. Well, you got it. It was so good, man. It was so funny. I appreciate when they get celebrities that are like, I know the Blue Eyes White Dragon, like Zayn or whatever, but I really appreciate when they get celebrities with like opinions about Poplar. That's like so funny. I love it. Oh man. Oh, who was that guy on the Chiefs? Ryan, someone who was like really good in toss format. He was playing like Crusadia Thunder Dragon. It's so funny, man. Oh man, we should have asked him. He was like, "Did you like the ban list?" Oh my god. Ugh. Ryan Hunter, yeah, Super Bowl, exactly same year. Oh man. So Jesse's team ends up winning. Ruben ends up winning. Look at this fucking, oh my god, it's crazy, dude. And then I don't know. It's just after so many years of watching like the TCG nations get completely washed, it's just so nice to watch them succeed. It's like I feel like for so long it was like, yeah, the OCG's like the real card game, and then they come and clown on a bunch of like fucking teens in America, right? It's just so nice watching TCG players succeed, and it makes me so happy, and I really appreciate it. We're so fucking back, and it's been crazy watching like OCG players. I don't know if you all have been clicking that translate feature on Twitter, talk about it, and they're like, we do need to step up in the coming years. We need to overhaul how we do the tournament scene because there's no incentive to be good for an entire year. It kicks ass. It's so cool. And since COVID, it's been like, wow, the TCG really did catch up. It's unbelievable. They've been glazing Jesse Cotton. As well they were right to. He is one of the most glazed individuals in the community, and he could always get more glazed. Oh, man. It's oof. Good stuff. And then the last thing today was I got an order for Dynamondo in, and someone wrote me like 4 paragraphs about how to use Dynamondo. They're like, okay, if you're playing Voiceless Voice, please do not make Dynamondo at the end of your first turn because you will get cooked by Called By or Droll or DD Crow or Bestials. You can't be playing like that, white boy. And I was like, wow, thank you. I wasn't gonna do that, but good looking out. He was like, listen, you're going to get cooked by Bestials if you play this card. You need to be considering main deck triple tack. And I was like, yeah. This is hub style TCG. And if you go to their store, let me just show you this. Included a very helpful note on how to use the card. Oh my god. Good shit. Oh man. But they were right. I mean, I am looking out for that shit. And then I recorded something today and I was like, I look like the fucking blue eyes person look at you meme, so I did it. Say the name again. Hub style TCG. Show my edit of it. Yeah, Dyer did this. Jeff Jones translated a thread about it here. Let's go. He says the OCG tournament system is broken and the scale of tournaments has been reduced for the OCG. Konami JP is putting a focus on China. He says Konami JP doesn't address powerful cards fast enough. There's no need to work hard in the game because there are no rewards. A lot of players stop playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And play other games and only come back during WCQ season, aren't playing year-round. Sales are up, so he doesn't think things will change. This sound familiar to anybody? Yeah, welcome to the fucking club, pal. OCG can learn a lot from TCG players, but the way the OCG tournament system is handled needs to be changed. I think it's an interesting dichotomy that we in the TCG feel like we're getting the short end of the stick, but OCG players feel the same in many aspects. You know what? To any OCG players who are in chat and are somehow watching this English language stream, we are not your enemies. Our enemies have always been Konami. Oh man. Okay. But fun worlds, super exciting to watch. Loved it all the way through. So happy that, you know, sometimes Yu-Gi-Oh is really good. Sometimes Yu-Gi-Oh is just really fucking good, and I really like when it's good. Bro never getting that sponsorship. They're gonna beg on their hands and knees for me to go to Worlds next year. Konami, listen. I can save Worlds. Worlds was really good this year, but I can save it. You need someone as the color caster. And I'm gonna go, wow, when someone does something cool. There's a full response on Master Duel Meta? Holy shit. Wait, what's the full response to the situation on Master Duel Meta? I'm checking it out. Oh, they said Appaloosa getting... Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, this is... Where is it? I don't even see it. On the deck list? Oh, is it on the top 4 or is it on the rest of them? Wait, where are the rest of them? It's in the comments. It's pinned. All right, what do we got? Oh, this is everybody. Holy shit. Deck lists were posted the same way last year. Yo! Never mind. We forgive you. Oh my god. That's so good, dude. Oh man. I just don't understand this, right? You guys are idiots and can't realize the deck lists are public. DK is just gathering it and posting it to the public. These lists are not, your DUMASS will never get it. These lists are not public. They're being scraped with Untapped from match replays. Replays are public. Cry more. This just in, streamers sponsored and promoting third-party software are upset at the possibility of it being used allegedly. 1, you can't just say allegedly out of after admitting to something and then get out of. That's not how it works. And 2, isn't the whole thing that it's not supposed to? That's incredible, dude. Untapped was never meant to reveal deck lists in tournaments. Uh-huh. Oh, man. Okay, this is... I do have one spicy take on this. One take that I think many of you won't agree with. Sorry you can't get a competitive advantage by doing the exact same thing but keeping it to yourself so you and your team have an upper hand while someone without that luxury gets smoked by you sneaking information. I think that is really good. I think that scouting is like a really interesting and important skill. It is a macro skill in Yu-Gi-Oh! It is not inside the entirety of the game. But I think getting the team together to do what they can to try and figure out what your opponent is playing in a minimally entered world event is actually an important skill. I think huddling around spreadsheets, trying to figure out what they can piece together based on replays they've seen one side of is cool. Like, and when they say other people don't have that, upper hand. Yes, they do. Like, what are you talking about? I guess theoretically, if someone is the only person who plays Yu-Gi-Oh! That they know, then there will never be... I just don't understand. It's like, if you have a team that you are testing with for a Worlds event, and every Worlds competitor does, they will assist you. Unfair competitive advantage having friends. I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. My issue is the difference between scraping together individual cards played in a public replay and getting an entire deck list based on a third-party app that's not supposed to be able to perform that function. That's the issue I have. This is the advantage because he has followers who don't mind doing it. Same for other popular contestants like Josh and Jesse. This is how, like, just expanding the threat in the clip based on nothing impacts the way people conceptualize this, right? When he's like, you could have 10, 20 people doing it. That doesn't change anything because only one person has to look at replays. But these people are like, now, the more popular you are, the more effective you will be at doing this. Something that's not true, right? Can I scout your bank account real quick? Oh, sure. They made you into a Wojak? This is so good, dude. This is incredible. These decks look bog standard. All right, I guess I'll do this. Let's go to the top 4. So you see this shared cards thing? These are the only cards that they can all use. Only one person is going to have Maxi. So knowing who the Maxi player is and what deck it's located in is a huge advantage. What's more, these decks aren't bog standard. Fucking Vanquish Soul with main deck Heavy Storm? What's that? We've got Jesse Cotton, deck 1 Tearlament, playing main deck Dotscaper. Oh, very bog standard here. You don't understand how knowledge of a card like Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion in the hand trap lineup of a deck like Salamangreat might be an important piece of information for somebody to know? Right? There's only one person on this team with Psyframe Gear Gamma. By sharing the list, you know that it's Ray using U-Bell, right? You never have to fear Gamma in any other scenario. You can effectively play around tactics by just jamming Maxi, right? Let's check out Josh's list. You don't think that knowing the exact trap lineup of 36 Trap Labyrinth might be a little bit of an advantage? Do you think Black Horn of Heaven is a standard addition to this slot? When was the last time you saw Heavy Storm Duster activated? I don't know. It's just... I can't imagine even believing this. I'm getting too in the weeds. Did you see what one of the top 4 players was on? What? I'm going to scroll down. It's going to be some stupid fucking half-miss deck. Tier, Ubel, Branded, Super Heavy Samurai Centurion. Oh. 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 Oh, yeah. That's what I like to see. Coming soon. I hope it shows up. Exo Sister. We did get an Exo Sister. We got a Math Mech. Super Heavy Samurai. Is this the FTK? It is. Awesome. Someone was like, I'll play the fucking FTK. Who cares? What did DB Grinder play? What was DB Grinder's team name? Do you remember? BOTB. Yeah, here we go. Josh Kipp, who cares? The MD Grinder. We only ever saw his Pearly list. That's pretty normal. He's got the Maxis. I imagine they're shared cards are Ash, Maxi, Gamma. That's funny. Wait. Are you allowed to each person plays one driver? Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. That's funny. That's very funny. I mean, you can't play them in all 6. Yeah, no, I think that's really cool that the winners decks are going to be usable for dual trials later this month. They'll have an event that's like, play Josh's deck. And my favorite part of Worlds was at the very end when they revealed Rush Duels are coming to America. Oh, fuck. Yeah, baby. All right, let's watch Prague.